Good day. Today we're going to be looking at factoring trinomials where a is not equal to 1. Now for this warm-up, I ask you to go in and practice factoring these trinomials. I'm going to do number 4 as a review. For number 4, I'm going to check for a GCF. 4 is my lowest coefficient. It goes into every term. 4 is my GCF. I'm left with p squared minus 6p plus 5. Now I break down the factors of 5. I have 1 and 5. This sign tells me the big one's going to be negative, and this one tells me they're going to be the same sign. This is negative 6, so it is factorable. P minus 1, p minus 5. Okay. Pause the video and try 1 through 3. If we cannot factor the a term out by a GCF, we have to do the slip and slide method to the trinomial to be able to factor. So we're going to multiply the a value to the c value and put that at the end. Factor that one. Once you have got the factored form, you have to divide by whatever you multiplied by at the very beginning. After that, reduce your fractions. If it cannot be reduced any further and you have a denominator, put it in front of the variable. Now, those steps are a lot. Let's break it down. Step 1, check for a GCF. I don't have one. So I'm going to take my 2 and I'm going to multiply by 3. When I do this, I'm going to have x squared plus 5x. 2 times 3 is 6. Whenever you factor 6, the ones we're looking for is 2 and 3. Big one's positive, same sign, it equals 5. X plus 2, x plus 3. We are not done here. I have to take both of my 2 terms and divide by 2 because I multiplied by 2 at the very beginning. All right, the first one. I can simplify 2 divided by 2. This is x plus 1. I cannot simplify 3 divided by 2. So I'm going to take my 2 and move it in front. So it'll be 2x plus 3, and I'm finished. All right, I'm going to do one more. Let's do number 3. There is no GCF. Y squared minus 5y minus 24. Now I'm going to go with the assumption now that you know how to break out the factors of 24. Whenever you do this, the 2 ones that you're going to get is positive 3 and negative 8. So this will give me y plus 3, y minus 8. From here, I'm going to divide by the a value from the original. I can simplify this. I'm going to redraw that arrow. This is y plus 1/2. This is y minus 4 over 3. I cannot simplify this any further, so I'm going to take the denominator and put it in the front. 2y plus 1, 3y minus 4. Once again, I am finished. There's my answer. Pause the video and take a moment to try examples 2 and 4. Okay. These are all examples for you to try. I'm going to do 2 of them. I'm going to do 5 and 6. For numbers 5 and 6, though, I'm going to show you how to do these in Desmos. So, Let's go to number 5. First, it's good to check for a GCF. Type in GCF, put in all the numbers. There's not a GCF. Now I'm going to type in my expression. Instead of a, I'm going to put x, so 4x squared minus 4x plus 1. Now this gives me 0.5. I need to make that into a fraction. 0.5 on the left, there we go, is the fraction button. I can click it, turns it into 1/2. This gives me a plus 1/2. Now, something that I want you to see, this vertex is lying on the x-axis. That means I'm going to have this twice. For quadratics, you will always have 2. If it looks like there's only 1, that means you need to put a square on your term. Okay, I have this. I need to move my denominator, so I have 2 times a plus 1. Final answer, I'm finished. Let's look at one more, and we'll be done with this. Six x squared plus x minus 12. I have these two coordinates. Negative 1.5. Sorry, y'all, this is supposed to be a minus. I just realized I didn't change it. Negative 1.5 is negative 3/2 for the left coordinate. 1.333. Put in a bunch of 3's. 4/3. So these are the two x-intercepts that I have. Don't forget to flip the sign, which is what I did not do on the previous problem, so I apologize. So we have x, all right, is negative 3/2, so I'm going to make it positive, plus 3/2. And x, it was positive 4/3. I'm going to make it negative 4/3. Take your denominator and move it out front. 2x plus 3, 3x minus 4. Doing that makes these problems relatively simple. Now let's look at an example with a GCF. I will do number 9. I'll do number 9, I'll let you do 7 through 10. For number 9, I'm going to type in GCF, parenthesis, 15, comma, 18, comma, 24. My GCF is 3, so I can pull out 3 from every term. 15 divided by 3 is 5y squared. 18 divided by 3 is 6y. 24 divided by 3 is 8. From here, I'm going to type in my new equation. 5x squared minus 18x minus 24. So I have these two coordinates. I flipped halfway. Now that's better. I have these two coordinates. So I'm going to have 3. Okay, negative 0.8 is the same thing as negative 4/5. I'm not typing that in, but that's what it is. So the left one is negative 0. I'm going to make it positive 4/5. The right one is positive 2. I'm going to make it negative 2. Take your denominator, move it to the front, so it's 5y plus 4, and then y minus 2, and I am finished. Now go ahead and take a moment and try 7 through 10. Now this page, you should be able to fill out, besides the one on the right, that's grouping, that's a Math 3 concept. But this is how to factor polynomials with 2, 3, and 4 terms. You can ignore the 4, but for 2 and 3 terms. So I invite you to pause it, go in and try to fill this out. Now, here in a moment, we're going to look at solving these, looking at quadratic roots, because we're actually already doing that, we're just not calling it quadratic roots. But first, I want to show you the answers to the first couple pages. Okay, there's your first 4. There's 1 through 6. Examples with a GCF. And there's that chart filled out. This is x plus 8. It's kind of wonky looking. I apologize about that, but it is supposed to be x plus 8, then x minus 8. All right, let's go back to the lesson. Quadratic roots. Now this is in with what we're doing because whenever we are looking at where it touches the x-axis, what we're really looking at is the number of the solutions on this equation. We call this zeros, we call it roots, we call it x-intercepts. All of these mean the same thing. All right, number 1. I'm going to do this one by hand. The rest I'll show you with Desmos. To solve these problems, you're going to factor it. This factor is x plus 5 and x minus 1. Once you have them factored, you're going to set them equal to 0. So I have x plus 5 equals 0. I have x minus 1 equals 0. Subtract 5 from both sides. Add 1 to both sides, respectively. X equals negative 5. X equals 1. I'm not too worried about the graph or the table. The only reason I say that, you have Desmos. You can look on there. My solutions for number 1 is negative 5 and 1. That's where it's going to touch my x-axis. My graph if you were to do all this by hand, looks something like this. Okay? Okay. Now let's look at Desmos for that problem. If I type in my equation, x squared plus 4x minus 5. There's my zeros, and I'm finished. The way we've been finding the factors with Desmos was by looking at the zeros and then changing them. Because if you notice up here, I just took the factor and changed the sign to get back to the 0. Okay? You should know how to do this. We have been using it, we've just not been calling it zeros. X squared minus 2x plus 1. Now I'm going to do this one in Desmos first. So my answer is 1. If you were to factor this, you're going to have factors of 1, which is just 1 and 1. The big one's negative, they have the same sign. X minus 1. X minus 1 is your factored form. This is x minus 1 squared. If I were to set this equal to 0, you'd solve it like that, finished. Because this is technically equal to 0 twice at this point, because it's hitting it and bouncing off, the fancy term is this is 1 with multiplicity of 2. Do we need to know that for math too? No, not really, but there it is. All right, number 3. Negative x squared plus 2x minus 3. This does not cross the x-axis. No solution. This is solving quadratics by factoring. Now, I have already showed you this. I'm going to let you do most of these by yourself. And then once we get down into numbers, equations not in standard form, so number 17, I'm going to show you a trick. Because ultimately, you can use Desmos for everything in this class. So let's look at example number 1. If I factor this, I'm going to get x plus 5, and I'm going to get x minus 2. Now, I like showing you this before on the graphing to show you how they correlate. So I'm not really breaking it down the way it wants you to read it. That's because I've already given it to you, okay? Just so you're aware. Now I'm going to set these equal to 0. What plus 5 is 0? That would be negative 5. What minus 2 is 0? That would be positive 2. You can use Desmos. Please use Desmos to help you with these. It will save time. So go ahead and pause the video, and I want you to try 1 through 8. Now try 1 through 16. For equations not in standard form, I'm going to get rid of that for now. I'm going to show you a trick on number 19, but I'm going to show you how to do this arithmetically first. So let's look at number 17. I have x squared plus 4x equals 21. I have to get everything to one side. Now I could subtract x squared, then subtract 4x, but to make the least amount of moves, I'm just going to say minus 21, and then minus 21 on this side. This will give me x squared plus 4x minus 21 equals 0. The factors of 21, that's going to be x minus 3 and x plus 7. The bigger one has a positive, they have different signs. Set these equal to 0. X minus 3 equals 0. That's going to give me x equals 3. X plus 7 equals 0. That's going to give me negative 7. Finished. Pause the video at 18. Try it. Now I'm going to show you a trick on number 20. Number 20 I'm showing you because if you try it on number 19, it'll work, but I want to make sure you know how to do this. So, that is not the way I want to do that. Well, this is not one to work very easily with me today. There we go. I'm going to type this in Desmos. Now, keep in mind, you will be using the testing version calculator, so make sure you're using that for this. X squared minus 10x plus 49 equals 4x plus 1. That is what the first one says on number 20. It gives me this error. Now I'm going to show you how to cheat to get rid of this error. Go to after the equal sign before the 4x, okay? I'm going to erase my equal sign, and I'm going to put minus. After you put minus, you have to put an open parenthesis. I'm going to say that one more time. Erase your equal sign, put minus parenthesis. If you do not do that, you will be wrong. So my solutions are x equals 6 and x equals 8. And I'm finished. Minus parenthesis, I'm done. All right. I'm going to write down my trick. So I'm going to say replace equal sign with minus open parenthesis. That is the trick to solve anything that is set up in an equation. So go ahead and try 18, 19, 21, and 22. All right, here's your answers for all of them. And this is all that I have for you today. And I hope you have a great rest of your day.